Welcome to the Hole in the Wall Business Podcast with Bill and James. I'm James Groves, and along with my business partner, Bill Dement, we want to share our journey as small business owners with you. As owners of Hole in the Wall drywall repair, we will attempt to peel back the curtain of owning a small business in the trade service industry and talk about the many adventures of owning a small business. Hey, Bill.
James, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It is a journey, you said.
It is a journey.
I have discovered that the life of small business is not a sprint. It's a marathon.
It definitely is a marathon.
And you just get up and push it ahead a bit each day.
And sometimes when you don't even feel like it.
Oh, often.
Often. You just do it.
You don't feel like it. You just go for it anyway because it has to be done.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, that's kind of leads into our subject for today. Good job on that segue, Bill. We want to talk today about just kind of what's the next level. We call it here leveling up.
Yep.
And I was thinking, every year you should in your home, you call it spring cleaning. You maybe clean the baseboards and you do some deeper cleaning. You look at your closets and you purge some of the clothes you don't need. You go to Goodwill. Maybe in the garage.
Oh, Grandma used to take all the bed linens out. Ooh, it was a multi-day event.
Yeah. And so you do it for what reason? Well, in the spring, the windows are open. You want to freshen the house up. And so you use that as a time to kind of refresh your home. And it reminds me of what we've been doing here at Hole in the Wall. And we've been talking about, all the progress we've made, new websites and stuff. But when you step back, look at that, that far, several miles away view, it really looks like we have done a little bit of spring cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some of the same things, some of the same truck designs, some of the same websites, shirt designs for many years. And they work great. We love them. Not like any of that was bad.
Right.
But every now and then you need to do a refresh. You need to do kind of leveling up. And so for the past couple of years, we've been, leveling up our logo. Well,
I think that was sort of the first step, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The logo. We have a wonderful logo.
Mm-hmm.
It fits our name. It serves its purpose, being a advocate for our brand.
Yep.
But boy, when we did the new style logo, and it's essentially the same logo, there just were some subtle ways that we use it that were a vast improvement over what we had.
Mm-hmm. Which led to new vehicle designs and graphics on the vehicles. This looks so good.
Oh, they're sharp. They're sharp. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I pick up on when you're leveling up is it reinvigorates. It just brings a new energy to everything you're doing. Mm-hmm. Once I saw that the logo was an improvement, and then we began to apply that, I think it was 2 years ago, to new truck design. It just leveled up the look and the feel and the presentation of the truck. And for a business like ours, those trucks on the street and the employees are the face of the company. Mm-hmm. They're out in public every day.
They're probably our number one or number two source for new work is people looking at our vehicles and taking a picture of them or scanning the QR code we have on them just to kind of find out who we are.
Would you agree that kind of has the same effect on our employees and associates, people that aren't even in the company but kind of come in and out?
Absolutely. There's a sense people want to be associated with or belong to something that looks and feels excellent. And it's an added benefit that I never thought about at the time. But when the employees feel that they're part of a great company, it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And frankly, it leads to them referring people to come work for us, and they have a positive attitude on job sites. And,
yes.
When the homeowners leave reviews, it just kind of shows all the way through. I think it's part of the whole brand awareness in general, which leads to new signage and new business cards and all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we really leveled up lately is our training. We have done a lot of external things, community outreach and things, but being able to level up our training to get our employees and our future franchisees trained adequately in a timely manner to get them to be able to produce and make money for themselves.
Oh, and
and the company.
training is so critical, James, because not only does it show an employee what to do and how to do it, but it also sets the expectation. This is the level up. This is what you need to be doing, and this is how you need to leave someone's home when you leave.
Yeah. And setting up proficiencies, so you have to have new employees that have hit certain earmarks in training over the course of their first 3 months in the company. It lays an expectation down so they know they can't just sit around and fool around. They need to actually get to learn these things, which led to us doing Trainual. And heck, we're building a brand new training facility here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So all of our employees here in Orlando can get trained, as well as all of our new franchisees can be trained.
Yeah.
Brand new training conference center, conference rooms that we can actually show real world application.
Yeah.
We've always done that, but this is truly level up. We've always had a room that we can go and punch holes in and patch and teach people how to cover complete clean in a smaller environment. This is truly level up. Even the podcast studio went from a small little office to this bigger office, just a small little level up.
Well, it's on my radar, first of all, that most drywall companies aren't level up anywhere near what we are and where we're heading. And frankly, a lot of small companies that are doing franchising aren't here this early in their process either. As people get a look inside what we're doing here and what we have, they're just aghast sometimes at what we've been able to accomplish here. We have an in-house podcast studio. We have in-house SEO and social media contact. We have
video production
right here in our own shop. And all of this is just adjacent to brand new training facilities, brand new, and you were just talking about the conference room.
Yeah. And to pause on training for a second, just going to camp there for a minute. It's one of the things that we've always been fairly technologically, elevated. Our CRM systems are good, or we just like technology. I do.
Yes, you do.
And being able to train our guys is great. Being able to show them, and here's how you do it, and it could be something simple. Listen, a 2-hour session in our training lab can level up an employee drastically, right? Well, imagine if you're a franchisee and you're coming here in your training and you spend a week or 2 weeks, and we literally go through, here's how you work around a soffit, here's how you work around these lighting fixtures and plumbing pipes, and here's how you wrap a window or a door.
Here's how you put bullnose on a rounded corner. Yeah. Here's how you do an archway. You know.
Here's the different textures. Here's what orange peel looks like. Here's what smooth looks like, which is a lot of the nation.
And here's how you cover up to not destroy someone's home. Oh, and by the way, here's how you clean up as well.
I'm a little excited because we're going to put carpet down in one of the rooms. We're going to put linoleum down in the other room. And when they're done training, those rooms are clean. And so we've now taught them how to cover the rooms and make sure that they're prepped up, which we can cover doorways and windows and walls in the training facility.
And the most important thing is we're able to demonstrate the standard.
Absolutely. And then we teach them all the techniques that we know. And this is not just for franchisees, but even our existing employees who want to level up, as well as new employees that come in the door. And when they're done, they're cleaning it. And we'll have all the supplies here in-house. We'll be able to have a classroom, a conference room where we can have a big TV on the wall and we can go through all the videos and seminars that we need to go through.
Yes.
It's pretty exciting. And on top of that, all of that is on our online training portal that in Trainual that we can then give access to our employees and franchisees to absolutely take this in the future.
So it all ties together, and there's absolutely a continuity of education for franchisees, for employees, because essentially they're doing the same work. Now, franchisees will also be doing the business, but we're leveling up what we're doing in business and our ability to instruct and teach that as well.
Yeah, so we can take them into the conference room, we can set up all of our computers, and we can show them how we actually use our CRM system. It's pretty exciting to just even, we're still in the process of building it out as of the release of this podcast. But in short order, by May, we're going to have a really great place to see. I even bought orange chairs for our conference room.
Those chairs are gorgeous.
They look so good.
I just sat in the one that we have assembled a few minutes before the podcast, And it was really comfortable, I want you to know.
I wanted to build one and make sure that we liked it before I built the rest of them. So.
And that was a level up, man. We have some comfortable chairs around here, but we had some old ratty looking stuff. And thrilled to see it go and see that level up.
Hand me down and old cheap Amazon chairs and garage sale chairs. I think our chair game is definitely elevated. We've leveled up our chair game.
Yeah. Something we haven't touched on, the leveling up also is imperative, I think, or at least beneficial to management. I see Mike as he's, we leveled up and made one of the spaces in the shop into an employee lounge, sort of. Yep. And we also are able to eat lunch there. Mm-hmm. We have a TV there that plays. Mm-hmm. It's on a loop, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, I think. But Mike was able to move into a better situated office that helps him to concentrate more on the job he's doing. Yeah. And he's sitting in the middle of all this stuff going on around him. And I think he just feels energized by that. And frankly, I feel like Liza does too. Everyone in our organization is feeding off the energy, and not only feeding off of it, but contributing to it as well.
Ready to start your own business? How would you like a jumpstart? Hole-in-the-Wall Drywall Repair is now offering franchise opportunities for strong entrepreneurs. When you franchise with Hole-in-the-Wall, we help you get up, running, and ready to start generating revenue fast. You get access to our comprehensive training program, continued support, and our proven business model that has allowed us to experience explosive growth. Achieve financial success while providing a valuable service to your community. Take the first steps towards achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Go to holeinthewallfranchising.com.
We've been able to just we just took all of our internal warehouses and shuffled them around. Yeah. So we even changed the reception door to a different door. Mm-hmm. But that door did not have a window in it, so we couldn't see out, and it kind of felt stuffy. So we had the maintenance team come in, cut a window, put the window in. We're going to have Andy Lonzak.
And that room feels completely different now. Every time I go through, I go like, this is a front office room. It was nothing before. It was just
feels like a closet. Now it feels like a real closet. Room.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So we got Andy Lonzak from Creative Imaging. Shout out Andy. He's going to actually put a nice perforated logo on the window so it can block some of that sun. And we're going to put all new logos on the walls. So it just feels like a level up. Yeah. Listen, we're in a warehouse complex. We're not fancy. There's nothing fancy about where we are at. But there's no reason why we can't take what we have and make it leveled up. In the process, it freed us up to take the old podcast studio, turn that into Mike Elliott's, his office, like you were saying.
Right.
As well as freeing up a nice space for the team. They're here every morning. They're here at 7 a.m. or earlier every morning, and they need a place to congregate. So they now have a break room. They now have, obviously, the full kitchen that we have with snacks and drinks. And then we do this brag recognition. So we wanted to kind of level up our recognition for our employees. So every time they get a review online, they get a brag, maybe a $25 gift card to some place that they want to go to. If they want to give each other adulation and brags, they can write those down on the brag board. And we had this great little brag board. It was tiny, almost handwritten-y looking thing, but we wanted to level it up. So we bought a little LED neon-looking sign and a bigger board, and we made a special area just for it to highlight it. So when someone gets this adulation, this recognition, they feel good about it, and they can be recognized. And then we put the TV in the break room. So I got a slideshow up there that congratulates Jaden on another 5-star review, and Brian, and shows all of our 3C videos and some of the time-lapse stuff that Scott's done with us over the years. It's a lot of fun. We hit the core values, so they're always seeing the excellence factor that we're trying to project.
And everything that you just mentioned and everything else that we're doing are all feeding into the Hole in the Wall brand, which is more than just the Hole in the Wall logo. And behind that brand, the circle, the shield, is the idea that we're professional, we're serious about this, and we're competent. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, and I believe the audience knows that we are professional, competent. We know what we're doing. We're serious about it. Our employees know it, and just being able to freshen things up really makes the kind of drives that point home. So that's kind of why I want to do today's podcast, is to kind of talk a little bit about, well, what can people do to refresh? And just know that this process has been taking us a couple of years, little at a time. And if you go back a few podcasts to when we did the podcast on marginal gains,
the aggregation of marginal gains,
atomic habits, we talked a little bit about just making subtle changes over time, which leads to big results.
Yes.
And what I didn't really realize at the time, is that we're doing that in the refresh. So stepping back, I can now look and see, hey, we've done these things, whether it's the trademark for the logos and the branding and all the stuff that we've done with the franchising. Just in a couple of years, we've really been able to step up our game. It also means now that we're looking inward. We did all these external things, all these websites and all these refreshes that we just talked to Ken Kimball about with our website. But now we're doing internal stuff with the recognition for the employees and shifting the offices around.
Yeah. We
have like 5 mini warehouses. And so it's allowing us to kind of go through and also do that spring cleaning type purge. Mm-hmm. You know, we're getting rid of some things. We're selling some things. We haven't mentioned it yet, but we're also upgrading. We have a good training program. We have a good training regime. Mm-hmm. We have all this listed in Trainual. Yep. But you know what? We're not happy with it. Mm-hmm. And we're leveling up that too. We actually are in talks with one of our associates that does this professionally to level up our training program. And I'm really excited about that. It's exciting because we will have a formal syllabus that big picture is we're going to be able to certify all the technicians that come through here to be drywall technicians. And that's a big level up.
That's a big level up.
So it allows to have all these kind of fun things. Plus, it's just fun to come to a place to work that looks and feels good. Not just for branding, but just it's not dirty. This is clean. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's a sense that we want to do the very best that we can, and I'm very proud of us because I recognize that very few other drywall companies, and frankly, very few small businesses that are in the trade service industry are going to the lengths that we are. Mm-hmm. And I think that our customer base, which at the end of the day is the big thing, the customer base recognizes that because that has to do with how we present ourselves to the public. It has to do with how we interact with the public, whether they're calling the office or emailing, or how our employees are interacting, how they look when they go to interact with the public. Yeah. What does it look like when we are done with the job and we're doing collections? Mm-hmm. So all of that is at a very high level, much more than you would expect from a typical drywall company.
Right.
And it's no wonder we've had success at this, and it's increasing. Do you realize every year that we've been in business, James, our revenues have gone up? Mm-hmm.
I do.
Even during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. We were essential.
I had never been essential before.
I know.
It was a great feeling. Yeah.
And what's fun is that we're just not done. Like, we're not done leveling up. Because, I mean, I was in a meeting yesterday. I'm being in a meeting later on today about our potential new phone system. So we get to level up. So when we bring on different offices and franchises, that we can provide them phone numbers and ways to interact with each other, and that we can develop a call center for people down the road.
Yes.
Where the franchisee's not out there trying to answer all these million phone calls while trying to do the work. That's a level up. And we're going to be able to do it, save a little bit of money, and produce a much better result.
Right.
And even franchising, we just started franchising, and we're already leveling up how we're franchising.
Well, and with the goal of more effectively relaying information to franchisees. Listen, I don't want to sell you a franchise. I don't want to sell anybody a franchise. Let me just show you. Let me just educate you and see if you can resist it. And listen, I don't have to make anything up. The real facts about Hole in the Wall and the Hole in the Wall franchise system are they're just tantalizing.
It's pretty great. And so I have this, I call them the beat your chest moments. Everybody gets almost like pat yourself on the back. Whenever I bring somebody in, we're doing a podcast or they're kind of doing a tour of the facility, and I kind of show them, here's our employee lounge and our recognition, and the TV. There's always kind of humming in the background there. It's a little bit of audio from our videos. Show them the podcast studio, and then show them that we've got Marketing Smarty Pants and right in the same office as us with Squid Crate with Tyler Speck, and then I open the door behind me into another warehouse, and they get to see the training facility that we're building, in the conference room,
and the orange chairs,
and it was funny. It was actually Tony Busby who was sitting here just a couple weeks ago on the podcast, and when I took him around, he just kind of looked at me and says, "He's not a man of many words. Sometimes he's like, you guys are really doing something here. And it was, and for me, it was one of those, yeah. Hand raises up, reaches around, pats ourselves in the back.
But you know what? We the thing is, we think that and we believe that about ourselves, and you should. I think a business owner should have that confidence that you're doing the job right. But boy, is it ever fulfilling and gratifying when other people come in and they may not say it out loud, but you can hear them. You can almost see it in their eyes. They're going, "What?
Yeah,
this is not your dad's drywall company.
No."
This is a different animal.
What's funny is that we have a lot of things that I post online, and there was someone actually left, I won't say a negative comment. He just left a comment on one of our Facebook posts. And he says, a real drywaller doesn't care what they look like. And of course, as an admin on Facebook, I could just remove that comment.
Sure.
I'm like, no, I'm going to leave that there because yes, maybe the roughneck drywall guys, but we are the anti-drywall company.
That's right.
Yes, we care because we know that we're in people's homes and they have to trust us. And if they see that we're riffraff, they're not going to trust us.
Yeah. Well, the way you present yourself conveys a trustworthiness. Yeah.
All right. So I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about what advice could we give a potential small business, or if you're in small business now and maybe things are going fine, but you want to know, well, where can I start? I want to just out loud, because I know our employees listen to this podcast sometimes. We're going to maybe start with cleaning out your vehicles. Maybe start with making sure that
making sure they're clean on the inside and out.
On the inside and out.
Yes.
Give them a wash.
Yes.
People see. I mean, that's a huge logo going down the street. And so maybe in your business, you know what? I just need to take a quick second, make sure my tires are good, and do a quick wash. Maybe your storage facility is cluttered, and you need to clean it out.
Right. There's nothing worse than pulling up in somebody's driveway and you open your door and a can falls out.
It's embarrassing on
the ground.
I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. One of my friends runs a restoration company in town, Nick Levy. Shout out Nick. And he drove by and saw one of our vehicles one day, and he calls me up. He said, "Hey James, just want you to know I saw one of your trucks. Guys are great. Everything looks good. Boy, your trucks look like garbage." Like, what do you mean? He says, "There's a pizza box on the dashboard of your truck." And I'm like, "Huh?" He says, "Just so you know, people can look in the windows and see." Right. I wasn't even trying to see it. I was driving down the street and I could see you had a Pizza Hut box.
Yeah. And we get it. Sometimes, employees, sometimes they're late on a job and it happens. They're eating pizza and it happens. We try to conduct most of our business before 6 p.m. so the guys can get home and have a life. But it does happen. But we do train that you should keep your truck clean. One of the things that we've learned, we like to say once in a while, we've discovered that people don't do what you expect, they do what you inspect. Yeah. So if you're checking on it, you're more likely to get the result you want.
Yeah, one of my Jamesisms is the 10-minute tidy. You know what? Before you go home, just do a quick second, 10 minutes, clean out your truck.
Great advice.
Make sure that you're stepping on getting all the drywall off your boots before you get your personal car.
Yeah.
What else can an entrepreneur do or a small business do to look?
Well, I think step one is to just be honest. Take a look around at yourself, okay? Because your business exists as an entity and it has a presence online. What does your website look like? What is your SEO? So that's search engine optimization. What does that look like? What does your social media look like? What does your business look like to the public when they go online? And that's how most businesses are discovered nowadays. It's a very common way to find a new provider for whatever goods or services you need.
Yep.
And I think that you need to take an honest look at. I think I heard you say the other day, and I've heard it before. If your website is 3 or 4 years old, it's ancient. I mean, it's got to be updated periodically. That's a level up. The technology changes. What's relevant on a website changes.
Yep.
So these are things that you need to do. I think the other thing you're looking at is how do you present? If I'm just going down the list, they found me online. Now they're going to give me a call. Okay. What do you sound like?
Yep.
When they call? Hello?
What?
Oh, hang on a second. Hey. I get it. People are working and all that. But I'm a firm believer you have to give respect to the person on the other end of the line. Okay. Don't be banging and whacking and washing your dishes and
talking on speakerphone, walking away.
Take 2-3 minutes and give that person your full attention. That's the way to do it, okay? Because this person is called, particularly in our industry, but I'm sure your industry too, you could be doing anything, and they're calling you because they have a need or at least a question about who you are, what you do, and do I want to write a check to you for you to perform your service? So you want to make sure that you look good online.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to be, if you're going to level up online, you have to be honest about it. Go look at your competitors. What do they look like? Are you competing with them? I think the vehicle that you show up in should be logoed. I think you should have a good logo. If your logo is stale, and I think we, as much as we love it, and we do love our logo, but as much as we've loved it,
it needed a refresh.
It needed a little refresh, and it was better afterwards. We were better.
Yeah.
I think the next thing you're looking at, how do you dress personally?
Right. Are you wearing branded apparel? Do you have a logoed shirt? Are you representing your company? If you're not, it's a waste because you're wearing a shirt that doesn't have your logo on it.
You're losing an opportunity to be showing a logo somewhere and a name. And one other thing, and there may be one or two other steps here that you would want to look at honestly and be brutally honest with yourself. You know, if you have aspirations to become more than just the average, then these things are necessary. But one of the things that I am really firm believer in, and we practice at Hole in the Wall, is not only that we look good online, not only that our vehicles look good, not only that the person answering our phone when you call in has a specific sound, all the touch points that you have with us, there is a continuity. So I like to say, people go check you out online. They want to find out who you are, what do you do, and do I want to use your service? And then they call your office to confirm that. They've already made up their mind. Most of the time, by the time they're ready to make a phone call, they only want to confirm it. So there shouldn't be a disconnect.
It's almost like validation, because any Yahoo can make a website or do a Facebook page, but the validation of who you are.
That's a good franchising term, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're validating that what they saw online is what they're going to get. And then when the person that they're talking to does validate, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do, what you saw online, that's who we are. And that's only further extended when they see a logoed truck pull up to do their job, when a guy wearing a uniform in his logoed truck gets out, does a terrific job, and collects the money, payment, on a professional device or in a professional manner. There's a continuity of look and feel. And so it's the aggregation of marginal gains again. So if I'm making a small improvement in each one of those, my overall business is looking so much better.
Right. And you don't have to do the biggest steps at once, right? So we started out the company with a flip phone from Metro PCS.
Yeah.
And then we moved to an online portal, line 2, that we just forwarded the phones to our cell phones, and then eventually forwarded to an office line.
Yep.
And then, but now we're talking about the next evolution where we're going to spend a little bit more money, or we're going to spend a little more technology time and have a better phone system. We didn't start with this big, gigantic VoIP system we're going to be doing. We started with a flip phone.
Yeah.
And so maybe you're just out there and you still have a Gmail account. You know, you're still using, hi, I'm Joe Blow @gmail.com. Well, it doesn't cost very much money to transition from a Gmail to a domain that you own.
Yeah.
The domain name costs $10 to $15 a year to have the domain registered, right? And then, so that's a small change. Maybe you just need some new shirts. Wanda Parisi at Embroidery Plus, she'll do one shirt for us if we want to.
Right.
You don't have to go print 100 shirts. Maybe you don't have a logo on your truck, so you're just going to do a magnet. That's your first level. You're just going to put a magnet of your company on the side of your truck until you can afford a big wrap.
Had a magnet before. We have been through all those steps.
We've rocked the magnets.
And you make me think now, one of the level ups that we didn't talk about is so dear to me, is that we took old photos that we've been just taking over the years of vehicles, of job sites, of employees, of office spaces. And one of the photos is the old green truck that I started out with. And it has, I think it's a sticker. It's not a magnet, but it has a sticker on the side with the old hole in the wall logo on it. But it's a wonderful feeling. And what we've done with those pictures, we found a company that will print them on canvas. And man, you talk about level up. It's so much more than a picture. And now you can walk through our office space and you can see a pictorial history, a timeline of things that were happening at Hole in the Wall. And man, that is just terrific.
It's fun.
It's terrific.
Really fun. Well, I hope we've inspired people. I hope that we've put a couple nuggets in the brain and food for thought. When we launch this, I'm going to put it in our Facebook group. If you're not part of our Facebook group, please go to the group section of Facebook, facebook.com/groups/HIW podcast. That's our group. There'll be a link in the show notes. Put in the comments of this link what you've done or what you want to do to level up. What are some other ideas?
Oh, that'd be terrific to hear.
I'd love to hear.
I'd love to hear what other people have done.
Well, it's a shorter one today, Bill, but I thought it was good, and I'm glad we got a chance to do it. So thank you, everyone, for listening. We'd like to thank you for listening to the Hole in the Wall Business Podcast with Bill and James. We'd love for you to join our Facebook group and keep the conversation going. If you'd like to learn more about us and our business, check us out at holeinthewall.com. If you'd like to learn more about how to start a Hole in the Wall franchise, go to holeinthewallfranchising.com.